Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about the issues with doing IRL streams as a traditional gaming streamer. Now there's not like huge issues, they can do whatever they want, but there's certain things that have been problems, or like that I've noticed as problems so far since like the IRL section, right? And I just want to make sure this is not people that have always done IRL from the beginning and have kept doing it. This is people that normally like sit in their home and play games and are now going out and doing IRL streams. The first thing we're talking about is money. The second is mentality, and then security. And like they won't be sectioned off necessarily. It'll be all kind of jumbled together. So the first thing is money. So you had to have noticed this. People get significantly less subscriptions and donations throughout streams when they're out and about in the world. And why is this? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, right? So a lot of people sub to get a thank you or some kind of satisfaction out of it. A lot of the time people either miss the subscription because they're focused on talking to someone or they're doing an activity. So they don't even notice the subscription, and maybe hours down the road or maybe never, they try to acknowledge the person. And that's why you'll notice people that do maybe like they call out subs every hour or a couple hours, you'll notice they get a ton of subs right then. And that's kind of just evidence to that, I would say. Donations, very similar. When people donate, they're always looking for a reaction, or they're looking for a response, or just, a thank you or a shout out for that donation. And people really can't do that. A lot of people just stream with one phone, so if, they missed a donation or something, then they miss it, maybe. Or it may, like, even if they have multiple phones and they have the donations open, that causes them to stop what they're doing and read the donation. So if they're talking with somebody or a group of people or they're doing an activity, they can't just stop, pull out their phone, look at the donations, and then see what's going on, right? Because that just kills their vibe, it kills the vibe of the stream, everything. So maybe they even check the donation at a later time, and there's a huge issue with that, because if there's a joke in the moment, that gets blown over when, that's what the person was looking for. And people have, started to notice that, definitely. And I would say people have stopped donating to IRL streams to try to make a funny joke, because there's going to be no response to it. They only do it now just for chat, right? So, they're going to make a chat donation almost to get a response. So the second thing is mentality. Obviously money affects mentality in a certain way, so that's something that goes with that. But the other thing is their mentality with viewer count is the first thing, and then their mentality during the stream. So viewer count is really simple. The IRL channel, it's like the whole thing, it's very liquid. People they'll go to a stream for 5 seconds, leave, go to another one, 5 seconds, leave. They're just looking for content, right? And if you're doing nothing for a couple minutes, people just leave because they just don't want to have it. You can see the big people just drop like 1,000 or so, because people are just kind of bored with what they're doing. So if people are watching viewer count, that can stifle them or whatever, and they can get a little shocked and try to feel like they have to produce something. The other thing is obviously creating content. If you put hours into thinking of a subject that you're going to do, or like some activity you're going to do, and it falls through, that's like really killer to your mentality, because that's you going out of your way in real life and doing something in real life and it not working. And that's very different than trying to plan something through a game. It's really different, because if you're in the game, you can just switch and do something else, whereas you've committed to this, and it just looks, there's even so many different aspects to that, because I don't know, I can't really describe that. But the mentality also when you're talking to people. So normally when you're, doing things in real life, you're aware of your actions. Like whether you're drinking or not, you're aware of what you're doing. Now you have to be aware for the stream, because it's your job, and for other people are watching you. But not only that, which is already pretty big, but not only that, but you have to be aware of the people you talk to, right? So going past the phone numbers or addresses, or way past that, what people are feeling, right? Because let's say you have someone like a stream sniper who comes up to you, and they want to hang out with you because they're a big fan. They've been watching you for like 4 years or whatever, and they're like, wow, how do you remember that? I used to do that. Wow. and you really want to hang out with this person, but chat doesn't. Or maybe you don't want to hang out with the person, but chat does. Or maybe chat wants you to bring someone back to the stream. Or maybe you're in this group of like 8 people and you like 4 of them, so you want to hang out with them. And normally, if you're not streaming, you find a way to break the group off, right? And like, you kind of just break away and the 4 of you do something cool on your own. But while you're streaming, are those other 4 people just gonna leave? Like, probably not. A lot of people oddly just stick with the streamer and they kind of follow them around, which isn't good, right? But that's the fact of the matter. So how are you gonna tell someone, I don't want to hang out with you on stream, after they've like maybe they haven't even said their name, but you're like their idol in a sense, and you're saying, I don't think you're fun to hang out with. Like, that's really hard to say. So that's something that ruins your mentality real quick, because you're in these like mental, I forget the word, but it starts with a D. Dissonance. Yeah, cognitive dissonance, right? Where you want, like, you're thinking different things at the same time or whatever, and it's messing with you. And this is all while you're streaming, while you're trying to produce content, right? All these things, it starts wearing down on you after a while. And maybe some of the chat likes the person and some doesn't, or they want you to do something, or you're making a bad image of yourself, but you think you're fine, but the chat doesn't, and these are all your fans and your followers, and you want to make sure people like what they're watching, as well as you get a lot of people watching. All these different things thrown around together are huge issues. There's probably other ones too, but this is what I am thinking about right now. The third thing is safety, and is why, like, I don't stream, right? You can't just go into a place and not expect bad things to happen if you're just being a normal person looking around, right? You can't really get around security unless because there's even the locals. The locals know the places, what they look like. You can do, like Google stuff and look at all the restaurants, all their interiors. People are going to find out. That alone is crazy stress. Because, right, it doesn't happen so much anymore, which is really good. But people get swatted, right? And, maybe you get swatted, maybe you get DOSed or something. It's not a good feeling. And that's definitely probably why a bunch of people don't stream. Like, I'd stream on campus, but I mean, I don't want people to know where I am. And what if someone, like, called the cops on me while I was in school? Like that would be extremely humiliating. So that's also an issue. So I just wanted to make this video because to me they seem pretty obvious, but I think a lot of people don't understand that. And like, I know a lot of people make jokes about it and all that, but I think people actually don't understand that streamers have huge issues when going to IRL, right? It's so easy to do it's not so easy, but it's so easy in comparison to do gaming streams, because you're sitting in your house and you can do whatever you want. You can play any game, you can talk to anybody you want, you can do whatever you want. But when it's real life and you're outside and your actions affect other people, it can be a huge issue. And it's a personality trait of a lot of streamers that they want to see people happy. So they always, how can you decide what to do? How can you make the most people happy? This is a huge issue. So yeah, that's the video, I guess. It didn't really turn out as well as I thought. Like, I had some ideas coming into it, but there's definitely a ton more issues. Like I said about the money part, I don't know. I don't know the math on, like, viewer count to money, but for a lot of people, they do get more views. If they're like smaller streams, they get more views doing IRL streams. But if they're big, you can see people get way less views doing IRL streams than just a gaming stream, which seems crazy, right? But a lot of people actually come to Twitch for video games, and that's all they want to see.